So welcome to Pokemon Go Part 2. The review. We're going to finally review a game, and we're probably going to do this more so for like apps and video games and such. Mm-hmm. But we're going to do a full review of Pokemon Go and what we think of the game.
Yes.
We've played it pretty much exactly since launch, maybe right. A week out. Mm-hmm. So I've got 4 categories here that I've kind of just jotted down what we're going to talk about. The first category is gameplay and content. The second is story and replay value. The third is the presentation, which includes graphics and sound. And then we're going to go over our final thoughts of the game.
Okay.
So let's go over gameplay and content, Matt.
All right.
What do you want to touch on with the gameplay? What do you think about the gameplay in general and what you're doing in the game?
Gameplay in general. I don't know. I enjoy it a lot. I mean, I get you're playing paper toss in a way to catch the Pokemon, but I mean, it's really exciting when they pop up and it's a rare kind. So, but that's all random, I guess, in a sense. But as far as like actually playing the game, I guess the only actual playing of the game is if you're going to walk around and flick Pokeballs.
I think it definitely is a huge gimmick, but it works.
Yes.
You know, because it is a game where you need to get out of your house to play it. Now, if you took away the walking, you have zero game here almost.
Pretty much.
It is literally just walking around. I mean, but you're right. It is very satisfying. You walk around, boom, and no Pokemon pops up. You're like, what?
Yes.
I'm going to capture him. So let's go straight into this. Let's talk about capturing guys.
Okay.
So if you haven't played Pokemon Go or seen anybody play it, I mean, you must be in a rural area.
You've got to have someone around you that's been playing it.
Yeah, somebody's got to be talking to you. Anyway, so a Pokemon comes up, you fling Pokeballs at it, eventually it'll hit it, and then it'll sit there and capture it, or it'll jump out. If you do capture it, you get experience, and it adds it to your Pokedex, etc. So the gameplay is very dexterity. You just literally put your thumb or finger on the Pokeball, you give it a swipe, and depending on how hard you swipe it, the ball will go farther or it'll go softer. You can also spin the ball to get like a little bit of spin and swing it off to the side, and it does like a hook shot kind of thing.
Right.
You get bonus points essentially if that lands. I'm going to start off by saying it's fun, it works, it's okay, but at the same time, it really irritates the crap out of me that the game is all random number generator with it.
Right.
Like the dexterity part of it is almost trivial now. There is nothing happening to cause me to have to change up my strategies. Some of the Pokemon will sit there and they'll make a little flash and they'll swipe their hand and knock your ball out of the way.
Right.
First off, super predictable, easily avoidable. I mean,
just sit there and wait.
Wait 2 seconds.
Go right after they do a swipe move or whatever.
Right. So that part's not difficult. Actually, the more difficult thing is watching the stupid things bust out of your ball. Because even though you fed it with like raspberries or whatever, and you hit it with an Ultra Ball, and it's a Pidgey and it's a 130, it rolls a random number generator, rolls the higher percentage, and jumps out at your ball. Mm. It's so frustrating. Why couldn't they make it to where like the higher power level guys actually do different things, like run around? I mean, maybe they can't do that because every single person I know turns off the augmented reality.
Right.
Because that's actually way more difficult. But maybe don't do that. Maybe force augmented reality. Or even if it's not augmented reality, allow it to have a 3D environment. So where the Pokemon can like dodge and jump over to the side, so you have to turn around to see it now.
Right.
Stuff like that. I mean, it's so bleh. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's like not entertaining in the slightest, because it is somewhat entertaining, but it gets very old fast.
Yeah. I would say by now also cut down on the if it's going to bust out or not animation.
Yeah, because it's like shake.
The suspense was cool at the very beginning, but now it's pretty much, shake, shake, shake. I know after the third time I got it.
Right, yeah.
There's no more suspense. I know it's either coming out or I got it by then. So I don't know. Maybe they could change that up or something, because I'm tired of watching it.
I agree.
Just let me know right away if I caught them or not.
Yep. And design wise for this too, like it's not very thought out, honestly. Like the fact that you get a candy for trading in every Pidgey is cool, but they're not all created equally. I can catch a 10 rank or 10 CP Pidgey with one ball, but if a 500 Pidgey comes out or something, why am I going to waste my time on that? Or a Pidgeot or a Pidgeotto. They all give you one Pidgey candy.
That's the ones I would actually gripe about the most.
Yeah.
Because if I evolve something and I'll put 50 candies into something, I should get more than one.
Right.
Back.
Or
I ain't saying give me all 50 back, but 10?
Yeah, if you catch
5?
If you catch a tier 2 rank of a Pokemon, Pidgey to Pidgeotto or whatever,
right,
he should drop more candy when you trade him in.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're spending more resources to capture it in the first place. Maybe if it's the 3rd rank, it's not as important because maybe the 3rd rank you're trying to catch to start off a good Pokemon, because you want a high Pokemon at that point.
Right. But
nobody wants a high Pokemon in the 1st and 2nd tier. I don't know. I don't think you do. Like, is there a reason? Is there a reason to have a maxed out Pidgey that I just don't know about?
No, not that I know of, because it's not, you don't ever see them in gyms, so they can't be
that great. Right, because I think their max combat power doesn't even reach what the 3rd rank would go to anyway, the 3rd evolution. So, very irritating. I mean, it's just kind of bleh because, I just run away from stuff now. It's like, I don't even feel like trying to capture this Pidgey at 300 CP.
Well, I'm different.
I mean, it depends how many Pokeballs I have, I guess.
Yeah.
I might still throw one at it, but if it jumps out and I throw another and it jumps out, I'm done.
Yeah, because
that's stupid.
I don't know. I look at it. I want the experience. And you can gain experience from catching it and when you transfer it to be able to evolve. So it can serve 2 more purposes after you catch it, I guess. But
well, that's fair. But they come up so often that I don't think it's that big of a deal to skip the annoying ones.
Right.
I guess it depends on your area, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, anything else you want to point out about the gameplay? I mean, there's really not that much gameplay to the game.
Well, that's what I said. The gameplay itself is not...
Let's talk about the gyms. Let's talk about the gyms and the fighting.
Yes, okay.
What do you think about the fighting?
It hurts my pointer finger because I'm just sitting there tapping over and over, and you can obviously tell when... Now, one thing it does help with is you can tell when it's like, there's a guy I'm fighting with because he's tapping his phone too. Why is him and his friends all standing around This is my gym.
Yeah.
I worked really hard to get this, guys. Go away.
Yeah.
Then I get an altercation with them, and no.
Then we start fist fighting. It's all bad from there. I think that, with the gyms, they're just like, bleh. The combat's just uninspired. It's not great. The cool thing about Pokemon in the beginning was the turn-based combat and the swapping your Pokemon out to bring the best guy in for the job.
Right.
You can still kind of do that here. You can switch them out and stuff like that, which you do need to do, but it's so mindless. Mm-hmm. Water Pokemon, bring in electric. Right. Click, 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 click. Oh, he murdered me because he's 300 freaking points higher than me.
Right.
It's just... And what's up with this dodge? Is this like absolutely the most pointless thing ever? Do you ever dodge?
I've found that you can dodge, but you gotta
I don't feel like it's as efficient. Like maybe if you have a Pokemon where his attack is so slow, each auto attack, each time you click.
Right.
But if you got a Pokemon where you're clicking and it's really fast but low damage, you don't have time to dodge because you can't interrupt your attack animation to do so.
But the only time I've ever worried about the dodge is if I was having trouble defeating something. And it was its big charge attack is what was killing me.
Does it make a signifier?
No, but I just would time in my head and I'm like, okay, it's coming here soon. And I would just start swiping.
So you're just gambling though.
Yeah. Well, it's just, it's a gamble.
You're not using actually good skill to dodge something based on indicators.
You can't because it lags out and everything. I don't think you could. I mean, I've seen Pokemon die and then come back because it catches up to itself. It does a lot of weird stuff in that sense.
That's true. It is a little bit buggy.
Yeah. So like I said, I just time in my head if their charge attack has been giving me a hard time, kind of just count it out a little bit. And then when I think it's about to start coming, I just start dodging over and over until that charge attack misses me, and then I go do it.
Yeah.
Go back to tapping. But I started to do that. I don't do it anymore because it's a waste of time. Because it is a gamble.
Yeah, I never dodge.
So it's pretty much just tap, tap, tap. Spam.
Spam, spam, spam.
Yeah.
Oh, I won.
Yep.
Oh, I died. Okay, replenish my guy's health.
Right.
I'm going to fight this gym again, I guess. Why? Why?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, you get experience, but there almost needs to be way more like region. I mean, I get it. The game takes place over the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a little bit more of a daunting task to figure this out. But it would be cool because I think they do this in the other game Niantic made. But they have like regions, and so like you take over regions. So like they could do it something where like whoever owns the most Poke Gems in a region or city like takes over that city and gains a bonus all the time.
Oh, really?
You know, stuff like that. Like make some kind of incentive to take over. Because right now the only reason to take over a gym is
get gold.
I don't even think that. I mean, because the way the gold happened, the way the gold is given to you is stupid. If you take over a gym, you take it down to neutral, and you claim it by putting your guy in there.
Right.
You can immediately claim 10 gold and like something else, like some experience or something.
The
Stardust.
dust.
So you get gold immediately, but then they have to stay in there for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
No. Has that ever happened?
Well,
maybe if you went to like backyard Kentucky.
the only time I had success with that was when I was out at like 3 a.m, running around the gyms and finding something that was already only like a level 2 or a 3. Take the time to knock it down, throw something in it, try and find another one. You know, and one time I think that one night I did this, I had 4 gyms. Then I woke up, they're all out because they were like level 2s. But if you can find like something that's already a level 7 and get one in, they tend to kind of hang out.
That's true. I guess
that kind of tend to stick around a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So that's the only gyms I try to get into. I will only build up my own colors gym to be able to throw in and be on a level 8, 9, 10 gym or something.
Yeah.
And I do that with my wife. I'm not going to sit there by myself and do that because it takes way too long.
You could just be different teams. And then you could beat the gym down and she can take it over. Then you can beat it down. You take it over.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah. But what are you going to do with the coins? Nothing.
You can do plenty with them coins.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
You can buy lures.
You can buy lucky eggs.
You can buy lucky eggs?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you can buy lucky eggs.
You can buy lucky eggs, incubators.
Okay, yeah. Incubators and lucky eggs.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it just seems very lackluster. Like, this game's free to play. A lot of people are playing it. Why is there no customization items in the game? I want to buy clothes for my stupid guy.
Yeah, they gave you a chance to recustomize because to not lock you in, but I was let down at the fact it didn't have anything new. Yep. It was the same stuff. It just, I guess the people got upset that they got locked in something they didn't like.
I just feel like this game has so many opportunities, but they are like very low on all fronts.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you finish different medals and you get like the bronze, silver, or gold, give cool looking items for your guy to dress up in.
Yeah, you pretty much just get a bragging right.
Yeah. The only time they're going to see that is if you're in a gym and they look at your guy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just little things that people like that. People are going to spend money on customization items.
Right.
Because people are just vain. But what do you think about the buddy system that they just implemented?
I mean, it's cool to sit there and see something like, it's super cute. When my daughter got pumped whenever you put Eevee in there and Eevee sits on your shoulder. That's super cute.
It is cute.
The functionality of it, though, is kind of like, okay, I walked 2 kilometers for one candy.
Bland. Yeah, you get candy based on whatever Pokemon you put up there, and every time you walk that set goal, you get 1 candy.
Right.
Whoop-de freaking do.
The only time
that's your big update?
I could see that being helpful because you get candies, but by either catching them, transferring, whatever, or if they hatch. If you can get one to hatch and it gives you like a lot more candies, then it's like, okay, cool. That got me closer to being able to evolve something. But if you fall, like right now, I'm doing a Voltorb because I'm like 5 short of evolving them. So
it is good for like a top off.
Because otherwise I got to sit there and wait until I can find 5 more Voltorbs.
Right.
So this way I can kind of walk it off and evolve them.
Well, don't you get 3 candy when you capture one, and then you can transfer it for 1? So really, you get like 4.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever.
I get your point.
Yeah, point being, I still have to find one though.
Yeah, and they're pretty rare around here.
Yeah, and so, but I do think it can be helpful, like if you go to Snorlax, and because if it's usually not topped off, and you just want to get candies to bump it up.
Yeah,
that's kind of the more, something that doesn't evolve. It's a one-time catch or something like that, and you just want to get more candies just to build up its combat power.
I guess I see the use for it, but the problem is you're taking an update to the game, and that's all you're giving people. Especially in a game when not all the Pokemon are in it. Like some of the bigger ones like Mewtwo and stuff like that.
No, yeah, no.
On top of that,
not even all the evolutions, I don't think, are of all of them.
Right, and you can't even trade. You can't even have little brawls with people.
That's something they need to come out.
You know what this is called? This is called a beta. And we're all testers. I should have saved that for the very end.
Yeah. So do you think maybe this stuff will get brought in more? Because I think they're working on a Harry Potter I've been hearing about.
I feel like you're going to run into the same crap for that, because now, what is the same team doing both?
Oh, so you're saying they're not actually going to improve on it. This is like a beta.
I feel like, well, we'll come back to all this.
Okay.
Let's move on to the story and replay value. All right, well, there's no story.
There's no story. Yeah. Replay value, you either play it or you don't.
There could be a story, though, and there could be quests, but they don't.
That would be cool.
They don't put any of that crap in there.
They can have quests in it.
They can have raid bosses like Mewtwo, which I think they said they were going to do that way. What's so hard about doing that? See, I think the problem is it's a very big gimmick, and it's a lot to take it on, because if you wanted to have a raid boss like that, where do you put them? I mean, if you put them in every major city, sure, but what about the people that live an hour away and 2 hours away?
Right.
Where are you going to spawn those? Do you spawn them in every church? Well, now it's all over the place.
Well, even if it's spawning, they got to have enough people to take it down, I guess, in a sense.
True. I mean, they could have some kind of quest that you go on to gather certain components and stuff, and then somebody spawns it.
Right.
Then it doesn't matter where it's at, because somebody has to spawn it themselves.
Mm-hmm. Stuff
like that. I mean, there's so many different, I don't understand why this game is lacking so much that, I guess it is a different type of game. It hasn't been done before. Well,
right.
It hasn't been done in the way that they're doing it right now, I guess, but I don't know. Anyway, replay value, I guess that is high, because you do want to walk around and try to find new Pokemon, and the Pokemon do spawn in different areas and different times of the day. And
right.
They have like rare spawn points and things like that you can go camp out.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause we find Pikachus all the time.
Yeah.
Every 20 minutes. It's a spot. So replayability is good. It is straight awesome for exercise.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is America's obesity cure.
Yeah, like I said, I never would have walked as much as I have,
or drove as slowly.
Or
I mean,
yeah. Well, the kids are always like, "Why are we going so slow?" We're creeping so we can get kilometers built up.
That's awesome.
So I always do it through our neighborhood, like when I turn into the main part of the neighborhood, like to my house.
Creep through your neighborhood.
Creep real slow.
What about presentation, Nat? What do you think about the graphics and the sound?
Graphics and sound. Graphics are fine. I think everything it's represented well. Sound, man, I would love for them to actually make their sounds.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't.
Instead of these just goofy, like
rare.
Yeah.
Like Pikachu is the only one that says Pikachu.
8-bit sounding noises is what.
It's like bad.
Yeah.
It's not even like good.
Yeah.
I don't play with the sound on like 90% of the time anyway. But when you turn it on, especially when you walk by and you hear somebody playing, you're like, yeah, he's playing Pokemon.
I turn the sound on to hit Pikachu to make him do his noise.
And then turn it off.
And then turn it off.
Yeah, sounds kind of whatever. I mean, I don't.
Now, that song I am into now.
Oh, the only song?
That song has got me hooked. Driving around at night, I would have that on, so I could hear the noise and obviously pull over to catch whatever it might be.
Did yours not vibrate when a Pokemon pops up?
It does, but you got to keep it in your hand or whatever. I didn't want it in my lap.
Oh, I see.
So I would just turn the sound on, radio down, and have the speaker pointed upwards so I could hear it. And then you'd hear the noise if something popped up. So
gotcha. Well, yeah, other than that, during the graphic design's okay. I mean, I feel like sometimes they could have put stuff in like one menu instead of having to click to this little radio dial kind of thing.
Right.
It's adequate.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, let's talk about our final thoughts, man. Is there anything you want to touch on before we rate this thing?
Well, it's funny. Even though if you listen to this, it pretty much sounds like we blasted it. But I love this game.
It is really fun.
This game. I mean, it goes a little bit more beyond just playing it. It gives me and my family something to do. Like I said, me and the wife might go drive around, but we hand our phones to our kids. They have a good time. Then we have to keep reminding them, quit looking through my Pokedex and get them Pokestops. I didn't give you that phone just to look at these and make stupid noises with the Pokemon. That's not their noise anyway. But it gives us all something to talk about, something to do. Every now I will take my kids to the park where there's a good amount of Pokestops there more often than I would have before. Just I'll hang out and do Pokestops and stuff while they run around and play on the playground and stuff. So it's got a lot of outside benefits that I'm gaining from it. So,
yeah.
Like I said, even though we are blasting the technical side of it, it has a place in my heart, I guess. So
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do a review, a rating of this game, Matt, out of 10.
Okay.
Unless you can think of anything better. We're doing it.
Real quick too. Also, I know a lot of people play the game have got that nostalgic, like, oh, I grew up with this. I never was really into Pokemon, but now I'm like kind of into it.
Oh, have you went back and played a game yet?
I haven't went back and played a game, but I'm just more into like actually trying to learn
about the Pokemon
about all the Pokemons and stuff like that. So I bought like a guide that has like pretty much every Pokemon in it.
Gotcha.
So, but anyway, so continue.
So out of 10 being, I don't like to say perfect, but 10 being like it matches everything you like about the game, whatever. 1 being like this game is absolute trash. What are you going to rate it and why?
This is weird. It's like this almost needs subcategories. Man, I like the game a lot. Now,
sometimes fun does trump the actual
that's what I was going to say.
content.
I would probably give this game, man, it's going to sound crazy. I would probably give it a 7.
7?
Yeah. And that's what the understanding that I get that not everybody is going to like this. You're either going to like it or you're not. But and the fun is trumping. Because like I said, the game itself, it's blah, whatever. I would, if you like the Final Fantasy app we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, it gameplay wise crushes this. But this has got everything else going on in it I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. It's kind of hard to, I guess, wrap my head around why I do like it so much. But
I think it's because it's a fresh concept. Not a lot of people played the other game. So this is the first time they're experiencing something on this augmented reality level, making you actually go places and do stuff.
Right.
So I'm going to say I would have given it a 5. It's average. There's nothing that great about what you're doing. But the reason that I also bump it to a 7 is strictly because of what the one part about it that I said earlier was a kind of a gimmick. Because no other game's doing this, or at least right now.
Right.
I keep saying that, but there is another game, but it's the same company. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It just has this really unique feel to it. You do want to drive around and do stuff. It's almost like if they made an RPG, could you imagine a Final Fantasy game that played like this? I'm going to go raid. I'll be back in 20 minutes.
Right.
I got to go drive to this other place to fight this boss.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a door to so many awesome opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's pioneering a path to get there. It's just that right now, I'm going to call it Pokemon Go, the beta.
Right.
And apparently in the beta, it had a lot more functionality than this. They're just kind of killing off stuff. So in the app world, it makes me really sad because I don't feel like they're updating it as fast as they need to.
Mm-hmm.
Because app games, man, I mean, you got to be on it. Yep. Otherwise, you're going to lose it.
Right.
And I mean, right now they've lost a lot of players, but in percentage wise, they're still crushing a lot of games.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
well, they lost 5 million, but that drops them down to 10. With the numbers I saw, I believe it was.
I think they have way more than that. I think they have like 80 million players or something.
Oh, really?
Stupid. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. All I know is I heard that it did lose about 5 million players, but percentage wise to other games, it's like a fraction of what other games lose in the first 2 weeks.
Right.
So it's doing pretty well. It's just that they're gonna have to do something to keep those veterans coming back.
Right.
Because eventually you're just gonna get bored.
Yeah. You know, I've got the high expectation. I would love to level out. And that's kind of my own personal goal. Now, if I get there, I have no more need for the game.
Yeah, once you hit level 40.
Yeah, so.
But man, you know how
some of the medals and everything, it's going to take me a long time to do.
Yeah.
They might trash the game before I get there. I don't know, but.
Well, they'll probably add stuff into the game.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do anything that may be detrimental to the game. I just think that they're not going to really add a lot. Like the content is going to be a slow trickle for a long time.
Right.
Just because of the having to implement it based on location really hinders a lot of things.
Right.
Because like in an MMO, you're like, all right, here's a new area you can go to and here play them all new monsters, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Well, in this, it's like, okay, well, how do we get this to replicate across the freaking world? So I get it. It's much bigger task, but at the same time, consumers are greedy.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, anything else?
No.
That's our review of Pokemon Go.